Welcome back to the High Speed Garage. Thank you to Contrast Printing and Riverson Radios for keeping this garage open. How you going, guys?
Good afternoon.
Very tired.
Bit of a big weekend for everyone around, I suppose.
Long drive.
Has been a weekend, yeah.
Long
Yeah,
drive.
we used to do it on Sunday night. Well, at least I got to sleep in and just cruised home Monday.
We
Yeah,
didn't
we didn't.
exactly drive it.
Well, Hayden didn't.
We passengered it.
Hayden didn't touch the steering wheel the whole trip.
Fucking red hot.
From parking the truck on Thursday afternoon, I didn't touch the steering wheel. Oh, I moved the car into the pits. That's it. It was wonderful.
Yeah, right.
No.
Yeah, well,
We can get into our laidley trip
yeah.
later.
I went up to Melbourne Coles shooting. Did a bit of pest control for them. They got a plague proportion of pigs.
You were only doing it for pest control. That's the only reason you were doing it.
100%. Wasn't fun at all.
There was no enjoyment.
Do you have your gun license, Joe?
Yeah.
Oh. Do you have all the requirements to own a gun?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, I've had it for years.
The brain capacity as well?
No.
There's no test for that.
No, it was a good weekend up there. They since I was up there in Easter, they've had the helicopter come in a couple of times with Mal shooting, and they've shot about 1,500 pigs.
Does Mal jump up in the chopper?
Yeah,
That'd be sick.
shoots a shotgun out of it.
I reckon that'd be significantly better than a joy flight. Yeah, joy flight would be mad, but to be shooting pigs on your own property out of a chopper, I don't think you can get any cooler than that.
Imagine Fortunate Son playing on the headphones while you're blowing shit up out the window of the fucking helicopter.
I was trying to get videos of how it starts,
Oh, yeah.
but I can't find a recording of just the start part.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we ended up. We got there early hours of Thursday morning.
Did you just have another competition again?
Yeah, the competition every time. So
Who won?
inboards versus outboards, and the inboards won
Ah,
Yeah.
good.
by I think we won by 10 pigs or 15 pigs or something like that.
But
That'd be
there was heaps more inboarders than there was outboarders.
Nah,
wasn't
same.
there? Was it?
I think maybe one difference. I think they had 4 and we had 5.
Pretty sure
Four.
last
I
time
thought
Reese's
they were
numbers were pretty big though. That's
Yeah,
what
he's-
got in the win.
He's still up there. I think he ended up with 12. I think somewhere around 12, and then James had 18.
James keeping it alive.
Yeah. I had 6 in the competition that we were allowed. We all had more, but they don't count the nighttime pigs in the competition
Why not?
because Mal and that doesn't go out,
No, yeah, fair enough.
and they go out with they got thermal scopes and shit.
No, yeah.
That's cheating. That's full
Yeah, yeah.
cheating. So we ended up with 126 inside the competition. Oh, no, I think it was less than that, but 100, overall with the nighttime pigs was 126.
Yeah, right.
And then we went back out Sunday after dinner and whatnot, and we got another 4.
You shoot
So I
anything
did
else other than
100.
pigs?
Nah,
No ruse.
I don't think anyone shot a roo this time. Lockie wanted to shoot a couple of roos for the dog food because he had his dogs up there this time.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it was mental. Like we should have done one ridge first. James was spewing that we didn't, because it wiped out like 50% of a 100-hectare paddock. Dug up all the chickpeas and ate them.
Yeah, right.
So you could just see it just destroyed. Just
Fucking hell.
lines. He said they stick their nose in, and it looks like someone's just dragged a steel rod through the ground. They just eat the whole fucking lot.
Fucking hell.
So yeah.
So what's that? That happened while you were up there,
Yeah.
just because they knew you guys were coming. Or?
They sort of left us sort of a section and went, oh no, we would just hold off on doing too much in there, and it just we probably should have done it earlier and we didn't. So
That's what these vegan fuckers don't realise, eh?
yeah,
They think,
100%.
oh yeah, don't kill animals, don't hurt fucking animals, rah rah. They don't realise how many animals have to be fucking killed.
The
and
shit animals
to
are
keep
shitting on
their
food.
fucking food
Yeah.
from being dead.
They just wiped out fucking. James said 50% of that paddock's done. I was like, fuck, yeah, right.
That's bad.
Mm.
Yeah, the shits with it, but yeah, you get that. Like that's farming, really.
Yeah, they would have obviously dealt with it a lot more than what we would deal with that. You and me would look at that and go, well, that's a really shit deal. But obviously they deal with the loss of that sort of thing.
Yeah. So yeah. But all in all, it's a fucking brilliant weekend. Great weather. It was a bit cold Friday, but other than that, it's all right.
Oh, yeah.
It was pretty good.
Queensland
weather up where
is
we were,
good
so,
weather.
So, yeah.
I got up and went for a fucking jog one morning.
Fucking hell. I did some, I think the first day I did 14,500 steps. Second day I did like 11. Saturday we didn't do too much because we went to the pub at lunchtime, so I think I only did like 7,000. And then on Sunday I think I did 17,000 or something like that.
I didn't do many when we were at the track. It's pretty much from the VIP area to the boat ramp, which is about 20 steps.
Yeah, the VIP area to the boat ramp was very close. It was bloody good.
Mm.
We'll talk about it a bit later.
Yeah, so all in all, it was a good trip again. So can't wait to get back out there. Yeah, so we'll just go on a bit of sport then, eh?
Meh, fucking meow.
Joel's been rude too and hasn't introduced our guest that's been
I was
sitting
just
here.
going to do it now.
Well, I couldn't interject on the hunting talk because it just doesn't get me going, I guess, the way it gets you guys. So
But no, we've got Chelsy.
You're not a vegan, are you?
I'm not a vegan. I understand the need for it, but I don't need to see the videos of like the dogs getting the pigs and stuff. That's, that makes me sad.
Yeah, dogs only hang
But
off
I understand the
their
need. I'm all for farmers. I understand it. Put that out there right now. Don't come for me. It's just not nice. Dogs can eat them when they're dead.
They are dead after they shoot them.
After you shoot them or stick them, they're dead.
After the dog. Anyway, we don't need to talk about it. It's fine.
Rip
Welcome
their
back.
ears off.
Welcome back to our F1 correspondent, Chelsy.
Yeah, geez, it's been a long time actually, hasn't it? I
has been.
haven't spoken to you guys actually since Franco Colapinto replaced Jack Doohan, and we called it that it would happen pretty early on. I think we called it before the season started on this podcast. You heard it here first, if you weren't listening to the other 50 news sources reporting it.
Don't worry about them.
And now we're already at the end of Franco Colapinto's rotation. So
what's happening now?
Yeah, so Alpine this time did something a little bit different, which is what Red Bull really should have been doing from the get-go. Enter sad Daniel Ricciardo memes here. And so what they did was they didn't drop Jack Doohan from the team. They rotated him out for a period of 5 races. That was, the period of 5 races is how many Franco was given as a guarantee, but Jack was rotated out to be the reserve driver again rather than being dropped altogether, which is what a lot of the other teams tend to do. And, sorry, I can hear, I'm so loud in my ears now. Can you, whatever you just did. Okay, thanks, sorry. And cut. So they rotated Franco Colapinto in, and they gave him a guarantee of 5 races, so he just hit the 5th race last weekend. So
His first race went well.
His first race did go well.
Didn't he bin it, like in practice 1?
Well, practices don't count.
Yeah, I know, but it doesn't help.
Everybody does that.
Everyone's talking him up, and then all of a sudden he bins it.
Yeah, and look, he didn't go well for his 5 races.
No.
Realistically, he didn't beat Pierre Gasly, which is his job. Like, their job is not to beat him, but to get within a certain...
Yeah, be close to.
Be fair enoughly close, and he's not. He's currently 20th in the driver's standings. Jack's 21st, because they keep you in there even once you're rotated out for the season. You do stay there. So that does mean he performed better.
Yeah, he did.
So they're both on 0 points. They're both the only drivers left on 0 points. Everyone else has gotten a point.
Yeah, right.
At some stage. So they both did get no points, but Franco sits higher, just meaning that he must have placed higher than Jack at some point in all of the races that he's done.
Okay.
Doesn't mean he's doing any better though. Like,
do they don't average those places, or they just pick whoever's finished the highest up the...
Yeah, so if we've both finished 15th 3 times and then you finished 16th and I finished 15th, then I go above. That's basically how it works.
Yep.
For the bottom runners, yeah. So let's stay tuned to see what happens. I don't think they'll bring Jack back, unfortunately. I think they really should give him another crack, because they did get upgrades since they got rid of Jack. And Pierre's done better.
Is he still doing the sim stuff?
Yes, still as their reserve driver, still helping them out with a lot of the sim testing.
You'd think if he was still looking good, like on the sim testing and stuff, they'd throw him back in just to...
Yeah, but the
See.
rumour in the paddock at the moment is that Valtteri Bottas might join Alpine, which
Yeah,
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I can't remember. He's reserve driver for like 3 teams this season, so it could make sense. Maybe Alpine is one of those teams. I know one is Mercedes, and I can't remember off the top of my head who the other. He's reserve driver for. He's working overtime this season without doing any work at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the rumour this week, is that maybe they'll get him in. I don't think they'll make any changes before Silverstone, which is this weekend, but stay tuned. I don't think Franco Colapinto will last the rest of the season.
Yeah.
It's pretty rough, though, to see that Jack got 5 races, then got knocked out. Franco goes in, doesn't realistically do any better. And
He didn't crash the
keeps
car,
his
but
thing.
has he?
Yeah, he's crashed the car a fair
yeah.
bit.
Hit it hard,
right.
yeah.
So did Jack. They both
That's what I
both
mean,
did a
yeah,
fair bit
yeah.
of damage. But rookies do that. That's a risk you take on when you
Part
take
of the deal.
any rookies on. You know that you're going to have a high
Yeah.
bill at the end of the season.
Doohan's
Look-
crash, not manually shutting the DRS, was a bit of a
That was bad.
silly one.
Yeah.
You shouldn't make that kind of mistake, I don't think.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, but the problem that he had when he did that, he was able to get around the corner without taking his DRS off, using the
Sim.
the sim.
Yeah, but
Or-
the sim's the sim.
Or it wasn't that he'd taken it off, that he'd let go of the DRS button, but he didn't let go of the throttle or brake or whatever to force the DRS to
mechanism to
close.
close.
That was what it was. It was actually a mechanical failure from his driver's seat. He'd done something wrong, but in the sim, you don't have to do that to make DRS turn off.
Yeah.
And you got to remember he's a rookie. So if it happened in the sim like that, then that's how he expects it,
Yeah.
because he's never been there before.
Does F2 and stuff have DRS though?
I can't remember. I don't think so.
Oh, I would have
Off
just
the top-
assumed
I
that
can't
they
remember.
would.
Please
I
hold.
would have assumed
Please
he
hold.
would
We'll
have he
Google
would
that
have
one.
raced with that sort of setup.
Oh, for sure.
before.
But I mean, an F1 car is very different. You know, like, do you know what I mean? They're
so
the
they don't
same, but they're not. They're
Yeah.
not at all.
So they're not like old cars or anything like that.
No. F2s are not old cars.
Yeah,
no, they're
right.
completely different setups. Like,
I just would have thought the DRS system would work exactly the same. So
There
if you
you go.
don't, if you don't shut it, you don't shut it. Unless an F2 car can also go around that same corner with DRS still activated.
and I can't remember what track that was at, but was it at a track that F2 didn't race at? Because they don't race the same tracks, remember, as
Yeah.
well. A lot of the rookies, they'll race it'll be their first time ever at a track, because the F2 and F3 classes don't race at those
Yeah.
tracks. So like Australia didn't get
can't remember
didn't get
which,
F2 for like a few years. We've got it now, but we didn't have it for a few years in the middle there. So there would have been a lot of rookies
Yeah,
that
yeah.
made their way through without ever racing in Melbourne,
Yeah.
for example.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah. So
I
yeah,
couldn't-
I think
couldn't
they should
remember
just
which track.
rotate, given
Yeah,
that they're
yeah,
rookies.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
actually,
100%.
I think they should bring him back in, and I think they should then give Franco another go at the end of the season as well, because it's just the toxic culture is getting like ridiculous.
It's really
like
bad.
Yuki's entire career has been ruined going into Red Bull.
Well, we
and
knew
so what
that, didn't
happens
we?
now? We called that
Yeah.
too. But what happens now? Does he just get dropped at the end of the season? Does he just not get a ride because But he performed well in the RB.
He was.
Yeah, well,
So-
that's no different to
They
what's his
probably
name
do.
that's in the RB now.
Liam,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's doing good.
Yeah,
They'd probably
well,
do so much
well,
better if they just had,
Better.
this weekend he did fantastic. Last weekend, sorry, he did fantastic. Yeah.
if they just had Yuki and Liam in the Red Bull cars and just dumped Max, they'd probably improve.
Oh,
If they
they'd have
rebuilt
to
the car, yeah.
They've developed
Have to
cars.
build
If
it
to
they
suit
redeveloped
them.
it around them.
Yeah.
If they just brought back Daniel Ricciardo.
Yeah.
He's the only other one that can drive that car.
It's his birthday today, actually.
Oh, happy
Is it?
birthday,
Did you know
Danny
that?
Rick. Is it? My
I thought-
birthday's tomorrow, so
Yeah, I knew that.
I should have known
I
that I
thought
was
you
that
w-
close to him.
Yeah, I thought you would have known that.
No, I did. I'm not that much of a stalker. You know, do love him, but no.
So Formula 2 cars do have DRS. We're guessing that that he probably hasn't been on that track with a real car
Potentially.
until that happened. And it was at the Japanese Grand Prix.
Everyone can make mistakes.
Oh, for sure.
I just think that's one that probably shouldn't
was a
have
big one.
shouldn't have been made. Yeah.
That was a big one.
Yeah, it was definitely unfortunate. Yeah, also this week in F1 news, the F1 movies hit cinemas.
Oh yeah.
So
I've been umming and ahhing whether I go see that or not.
you know what? I recommend. There's a lot of hate online, and I think it's unwarranted, to be honest.
My question is it like just a full dramatized thing about Formula One, or is there any kind of like, you know, when movies are based on a true story, is there anything like that?
Okay, so it's actually a mix of both. So it's not it's definitely the actual plot and storyline is not based on a true story. One of the accidents that they have is like a flashback accident that was meant to happen like 20 years ago is a real accident that happened in F1. They used real footage.
Oh,
Yeah.
You know, so like there's bits and pieces of it, and they've done really well to keep it.
Not so dramatic.
Not. I think it's a fucking movie. Sorry.
Yeah.
You go to
yeah.
the movies to watch a
Yeah.
movie, right? You're not going. If you wanted to watch a technical, go sit down for a whole race weekend and watch all of the pre and post shows and all of the sessions. If you want a technical look into F1,
I just mean like the movie. Like I enjoy ones that were sort of based around a true story, like the Rush one that we talked about the other week.
Right, yeah, that's
You know,
a good movie.
It's dramatized. That's not exactly what happened, obviously, but it's based around something that
it's
did
a bit
happen.
of a storyline type
Yeah,
deal.
look.
Where this is sort of just it's
It's
you
a
know,
drama.
when they're movies like that, you can almost pick the ending from the start. You know, I haven't even watched the movie, but I'm going to just assume that some bloke was like, he's pretty rough, average at driving, and he wins the fucking big main race.
No.
Is that what happens?
No.
Oh.
So
That's generally what happens in that sort of
look,
show.
this one I think you can probably guess how it ends, I suppose, but or maybe. I don't know. It was good. It was a good movie to just sit down and watch. Like, I enjoyed it. As an F1 fan, there was a fuckload of stuff that was incorrect, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, there's this whole thing about the socks that he wears. Like, you know, lucky socks or whatever. There's this whole thing about the socks, and you're like, you couldn't actually wear those because they're not fire retardant socks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, sorry. So, like, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind those little things.
And so that's what people online are kind of ripping it apart about. Not just that, but lots of different technical issues. They're like, well, that's physically impossible. That's not how that works. Things like that.
Yeah.
That's not why I'm watching it. I'm watching it because it's a drama and I just wanted to watch a blockbuster movie.
Yeah, well, I suppose that's a bit like watching like Fast and the Furious, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Saying,
exactly.
You know, cars don't do that. You can't do that with a car.
Exactly.
That's not what that's called.
No runways that long.
Exactly. And then if you knew the drivers that were on the grid in 2024, they are featured in, because it was filmed all throughout the 2024 season.
Okay, yep.
So all of the drivers that were on the grid are featured in some way, or almost all, are featured in some way or another throughout the film. They don't have talking lines and stuff like that, but they're there.
They're just in there.
And so then the commentators that are in the movie make a few comments about the drivers as overtakes are happening that are really funny if you're an F1 fan. Like talking, like saying, oh, he would never let him get past like that, and it's someone who consistently crashes into people when they try to overtake. Right. You know, there's a couple comments like that that people in the theatres wouldn't get if they're not an F1 fan. But if you're an F1 fan, you'll get those little digs and you'll enjoy it. Yeah, right. You know? Yeah. So my husband and I looked at each other quite a few times going, oh, I don't know that like, well, that's not quite right. But then we also laughed when, like, Gunther Steiner was there, like, pulling an ugly face at someone because someone had done something wrong on track, you know? Like, because he would do that. Exactly. So I thought it was an entertaining film. It's nothing, like, profound or...
It's a movie.
Yeah, but on top of that, Days of Thunder wasn't about a certain event that happened, and that's probably one of the best racing movies we've watched.
Isn't there a new one of them coming out?
Well, supposedly is, and I'm pretty keen on that. But yeah, I'm pretty keen on going and watching this bloody F1 movie.
Yeah, get into it, I say. Come back with your reviews next week.
I said to the missus this afternoon, I said I was going to leave it up to Chelsea. If she says it's good to go watch, we'll go watch it. If she says, no, it's shit,
we're allowed to.
We won't go on.
It's definitely not shit.
Okay.
Right? Again,
we
the
will
hate
head to the
online is
cinema.
very forced.
I haven't seen any of the hate, but like I'm not really into seeing that sort of stuff, I suppose.
Yeah.
But anyways.
So what happened this week?
Oh, what happened this week? Lando Norris won another race this week. Doesn't quite get him to the top of the Drivers' Championship. Oscar is still up ahead of him by 15 points.
Aussie Oscar's still leaving.
Yeah.
Where did Oscar finish? Did he finish second?
Second, Yep. Starting from third, so good damage mitigation, I suppose, as best as it could be. There was a few moments there where he definitely could have done what Lando did the race prior and binned it and almost taken the two of them out. But they both raced really well.
Did you like his Alpine blow up?
Yeah, they're still fucking haunting me even all these years later or something like that.
Yeah. He was cracking the shits about Alpine. They sent him off the track. He went
is that what it was?
Yeah,
he just went on the grass, didn't he?
Yeah, he just went on the grass, yeah. But still.
Was that Pierre driving or was that...
No, that was Franco, I'm pretty sure.
I'm surprised at this point in that season that McLaren aren't telling
It's
Lando to
coming.
move over.
It's definitely coming. I think if it was the other way round, I think if right now Lando was on, I think it's 216 points Oscar's on and Lando's on 201. I think if Lando was on 216, they'd be fucking calling it.
Yeah, I would agree.
But I think, I try not to be a Lando hater. I really try not to be a Lando hater because he's not the worst driver. He's actually a good driver, right?
He's not the person we hate. It's the people that are.
It's 100%. Yeah, they build that.
We just happen to hate him just
because as a result.
Offside and a side effect.
Yeah, exactly. So, he's a good driver and he deserved this weekend. But that being said, he also had upgrades on his car this weekend. Everyone talked a lot about how Oscar had no chance in getting getting in front of Lando this weekend. And no one talked about the fact that Lando was running upgrades.
Yeah.
And Oscar was not.
Yeah,
so that proves he's number one driver.
Yeah.
To me, it does.
If you're getting the upgrades first.
He was also on the worst strategy. That's okay though, because he didn't out qualify. I still agree. If he's not out qualifying, then he doesn't earn that, right?
Yeah.
You've got to out qualify him or somehow get ahead of him on the first lap, and then otherwise you don't get it. That's fair enough. But they kept him out for 3 or 4 laps after they pitted Lando, and he just was losing time. It was not a good call.
They were trying to give him a better tyre strategy for later on.
But it just wasn't the right call. If they'd pitted him straight away, he would have been right on the back of Lando, and that fight that they had could have been
earlier.
Better, yeah. But it's all right. Again, not bad. He just needs to hang on.
If you're not going to win, the best spot's to finish the second.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
And he can't finish like that for the rest of the season, obviously, because that'll tilt the scales. Yeah. But he can. He's got a 15-point buffer right now.
Just keep out qualifying.
It's 4-3 in Oscar's favour still at the moment with Q1, with P1.
Yeah, right.
Qualifying this season, and Lando obviously just got that third one this weekend.
Yeah.
So Lando's probably got a bit of confidence back. He's a very big head game driver. Yep. So he would have got his confidence up this weekend from having performed the way he did, which is not ideal as someone who wants the other guy to win. But again, look, he did well, but I hope that this weekend coming up, unfortunately it's Lando's home race, so he might get a bit of favouritism from the team.
Yeah.
But if Oscar has those upgrades, which he's getting them this weekend, then hopefully...
I'd even cop that, letting someone through if it's their home.
Oh, they wouldn't so far as let them through. I don't think they'd go that. I think they know now, and they've also
if they're going to finish first and second, I'd cop them swapping so you could win at your home GP.
Oh, I wouldn't. I'd probably flip my shit.
I was going to say
at this point, we're right in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
To pull something like that would be, and I don't think they would.
But we know it should be getting swapped now in Oscar's favour.
Yeah, but I was going to say, I reckon Oscar would overdrive just to beat Lando at home. I honestly, I think that would be like a statement, sit back down.
Well, it would be. Lando beat Oscar at home.
Yeah.
So now it's Oscar's turn.
Yeah, that's right.
That would be pretty good. Yeah, you thought you was good last week. Sit the fuck back down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be ideal, but I try not to get ahead of myself because I'm actually so... Right deep down, I'm so excited that there might be an Australian world champion.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Awesome. So it's,
So are we going to the last round if he's going to be, or?
Where's the last round?
Abu Dhabi, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Tickets are always available right up until the race with Abu Dhabi. I looked at it last year. Fuck, it's tempting, isn't it?
If he's going to win, it's pretty hard.
I was planning on going to Spain next year for the Spanish Grand Prix in September, but maybe I could forgo that for an Abu Dhabi trip if it's Oscar. Anyway, that's a thought for a bit later down the track. Try not to get too ahead of myself because, I don't want to jinx it. But not that I have the ability to jinx something like that. But
yeah, right.
So
it's looking good.
Kimmy and Max. They had a bit of a come together.
It's really cute.
Was turn 1 or
it's
something,
actually really cute to see Max as this. He just treats all of the rookies like he's their dad.
Yeah.
He actually does.
I was going to say something else about that.
He swore and went off as it happened when he didn't know who hit him. Kimmy went up to him the second he got out of the car and apologised and obviously knew it was his fault. Big fuck up on his end. And then Max went back to the media and just said, yeah, everyone makes mistakes, which is just fucking hilarious because if it was George Russell that had done it to him, it would have been which I know, you know what? I like that. I'm all for it. I actually think it's fantastic.
I was more going to take that at a little bit different angle. What's the chances that Max is just being nice to his teammate for next year?
I was actually going to say, have you seen the meme with Toto in the background and it says, Kimmy, take out Max so his get out clause is activated or something?
Yes, I did see that meme this weekend, actually.
And I was like, oh, that's pretty funny.
That would be pretty iconic, but so like slim to none chances of that happening.
I did hear on another podcast this morning that George has removed Mercedes driver from his LinkedIn. That's happened like within the past week or so.
LinkedIn, are you sure?
Yeah, that's the story that I've heard, which sort of starts the rumour mill, unless he's trying to push his contract across the table.
I wish I was that important. People would talk about me like that because I'd fucking spaz some people out changing shit on.
No one would give a shit if I got fired.
Yeah, I'd change so much shit. It's not funny.
I'd be sitting at home bored and go, oh, fuck, let's fuck with some shit.
Yeah. Let's watch these rumours start. I'll start the rumour by just clicking a couple of buttons in.
Well, I'm not sure about that. I can't find him on LinkedIn, but I will let you know if I find it. I just think there's a few other options that Max would be more likely to go to if he was going to leave Red Bull.
Yeah, I'd more see him at Aston. Yeah. But the problem is, clearly Fernando's going well at Aston. He's not going amazingly, but he's going well. And the boss's son's going to be a very hard fire.
Not really. He's not doing anything good.
But
I think
he's been in that seat for long enough without doing anything that if Max was available, which one do you let go? The bloke that's actually doing a good job or your son that's doing a shit job? Horrible job.
I seen something the other day. They reckon Aston Martin wouldn't even exist if it wasn't for
that's right.
Lance Stroll because they wouldn't have a team. So there's a pretty slim chance that he's getting sacked. Yeah,
but also, is he only there to give his son a seat?
Yes.
Well, it looks like it.
He said that in interviews in 2020, 2021. During COVID, he said
4 years ago.
Lawrence Stroll went out and said, obviously I'm investing this amount of money into a team because I want my son to do well.
Yeah, but he doesn't do well for 4 years.
Yeah, but I've seen it. I've seen their relationship. Don't get me wrong. I don't think he deserves a seat. Lance shouldn't be shouldn't be racing anymore. But it's kind of cute. I'm very much a lover, not a hater today, aren't I? It's kind of cute that they just he's from the get go. He's always been it's a dad literally buying their kid their first go-kart. And then supporting them through all of that, and you know what? Sucks to be us fucking peasants who don't have any money.
Yeah,
we don't have someone who can do that for us, but he does. And you know what he does? He spends it on his son.
I was going to say, I wish I had that go-kart.
Right, but he spent and he might now be enjoying it and happily invested. And if Lance said, "Dad, I don't want to race anymore," and he was still having a good time, he might stay invested. He might be like, "Cool, whatever. I'll keep investing in the sport because I'm enjoying it." But if he's not enjoying it from his own personal investment side, then why would you stay if you only did it to begin with because of your son?
Yeah, that's a fair point.
I don't agree that it's right. When there's only 20 drivers, or next year 22, but when there's only 20 drivers on the grid, I don't agree that it's right that one of them is there for those reasons. But I don't have money,
that whole sport's built on money, but...
Exactly.
So that's how they got there, and that's how they need to do.
Everybody pays to get there.
Yeah.
F3 and F2... you're not paid to be there. You're paying for those. You pay for those seats.
Yeah, right.
So everyone technically pays to get into F1 because they had to somehow get themselves through F2 and F3.
You pretty much pay the whole way through in any kind of motorsport. It's all the same.
Yeah.
So do we reckon if VB gets into Cadillac, do you reckon he'll keep his moustache and party in the back?
I think it's a package deal with him.
I would hope so.
It has to, doesn't it? But it's not very on brand.
He's forced his way back into Mercedes. He's forced the mullet back into Mercedes since he's come back. But when he was there last time, he was clean cut. He was smack when he was at Mercedes. Then he got to go to where did he go from Mercedes?
Kick
Sauber.
Yeah.
That was where the mullet come from.
Yeah.
He went out and actually had some
I think
fun.
it wasn't just going to going to kick that brought the mullet out. I think it was like this is where I'm at in life.
Yeah.
Like it was an acknowledgement of the fact that you're going from a team that is like prestigious and you're going, well, I'm just embracing it. I'm not expecting anything to happen here. And I think you'd keep it because you're not expecting Cadillac to come and win any races in their first season. They could.
But
they could do what Haas did, but they probably won't.
They would be better. Did you say Haas?
Haas did that in their first season.
Haas did?
Yeah.
I thought that was only, what was the other one that turned into Mercedes? That was Braun. Braun did the, I think they won the first, but they did the championship on the same year as well, didn't they? Braun?
I don't know about Braun.
Yeah, when Braun came in. Yeah. That was who Mercedes bought their team off.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, right.
So Mercedes were out of F1. Braun came in. I think it was with Jenson Button in the driver's seat. And someone else.
You're past my level of knowledge now. You're
You're
aging yourself and not me.
Yeah, obviously it's a while ago. I can't remember.
No, it's not.
Anyway, so
And no, sorry, Haas didn't win. I just googled that. They didn't. I made that up in my
must
head.
have been.
But I think
must
they got a
have been
podium.
Braun.
They definitely got a podium. They came 6th in the constructors the year that they joined, which is like craziness.
Yeah, right.
Like you're meant to come last when you first join.
Yeah,
I'm guessing you're mixing Braun up with Haas.
Maybe.
Because Braun was... They didn't start that long ago. It was probably 10 years ago or something like that. And, they dominated the first year they came out. And then Mercedes bought it after that. It was really cool.
There you go.
Yeah, cool.
I remember the name Braun, but I don't remember the scenario.
Yeah, so anyway, VB put a video up on, I think it was Instagram. He walked up and he was having a look around a Cadillac.
Mm-hmm.
That was
I
one
sent
of
that
the
to my husband.
best videos I've seen
And they said,
about...
They said, like, are you going to
that's
drive
so
it?
good.
And he said, maybe next year.
Yeah.
There's
He's
two
definitely
that,
playing
yeah.
with the ideas.
There's a
of,
good-looking seats.
Yeah,
there's
these are
two of them.
Yes. Yep. So, yeah.
And there's a very strong rumour on Denny Rick. I don't know if it's going to happen because he doesn't seem to be real. Like, there's no real conversation from him in the media about it.
He literally doesn't exist in Formula One this year.
Yeah.
He has not turned up to anything to do
But
with Formula
We,
One.
we
he
want it
did
to
take
happen,
the
but
seat-
it's not happening.
If he did take the seat, him and VB in cars would probably be the most favourite team.
And if you've already called your losses as a team in your first year, if you've already decided that we're not going to like do super well, that's how you bring your money in for your first year, isn't it?
Yeah.
By getting people like that in.
Yeah.
But like this is delusional
Marketing.
talk, though. There's no way that the two of them go. But
What
again,
team if it did?
if we could have a Australian world champion, maybe we can have Daniel Ricciardo and Valtteri Bottas in the same team.
Keep dreaming.
Yeah.
Well, that was my statement. So let's see what happens at the end of the year.
Fingers crossed. Well, what we say here seems to be happening. So
Yeah, well,
We are.
You never
We
know.
are breakers.
when is the there's a break coming up, isn't it?
Summer break. I actually don't know when it is. I think have we got a triple header? So I think we've got at least 2 more weeks. Silverstone this weekend. Not sure where after that. Maybe the summer break's coming up soon after that.
It'd have to be pretty close because summer's just about heading over there.
It's warming up.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a good chat.
Nice F1.
Mm.
Good to get a good update. I was actually saying to the boys a couple of weeks ago that should we get you back on, and then you messaged them and like, yeah, I'm coming on. And I'm like, sweet.
Perfect.
Yeah. So, yeah. Thanks for coming in for that.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
No worries. Yeah, righto. Oh, well, that was a good F1 chat.
Bloody oath.
What else we got on Motorsport, Hayden?
All right. So, do you guys want to talk about the drag hydro announcement this week at Penrith
Fuck
Lakes?
yeah, that's sick.
When is it?
am
I seen
so
the
keen.
post, but I didn't
There's
look
no
into it.
date. There's no date, but the team was saying, Craig Cook mainly spoke about it. So there was a conversation from Phil Day with Underdog Productions. We might have already posted it on the HSG Pit Crew page, but Craig Cook, Scott Faggoter. I struggle saying that name. And there was another bloke there as well. They've got 2 blokes who got top fuel hydros. One's got the problem child. Scott bought the problem child from Eddie Knox over in America, and they've actually rebuilt it over there. 2 fresh engines. Brought him over here. As far as I know, it's in the country now. It was supposed to go to Fire Lake a couple of months ago, which is the Lucas Oil's track over in America.
Yep.
And in the conversation, they actually spoke about Penrith Lakes being a lot like the Firebird track.
Yep.
I think I can't remember what the actual name is. I'm pretty sure it's Firebird. It's in Arizona.
Yeah, Firebird track. It's a man-made deal. It's pretty.
It's all
pretty
about
nice.
drag racing there. I reckon you could do circuit racing there too. Like, you could use it. It's pretty wide. It's pretty decent.
Depends how long it is, I guess.
It's really long for drag racing to start and do a rundown.
Yeah, I suppose.
But they're talking. They said that they've got a pretty good relationship with Penrith Lakes at the moment, and they're going to start doing some drag racing down there.
Till they see the cost of.
Well, it depends. Yeah, but it depends on his relationship with them. So, obviously, we don't know what's going on.
Yeah, he's a promoter, so
that's right.
He'd know all the ins and outs of.
That's right. And for them to put top fuel hydros on, they're going to want top alcohol hydros.
Yeah.
And they're also going to want bad boats, which means I'm going to drive a drag boat.
I'm going to drive a drag.
There's
probably a few that will, I reckon.
Yeah, I reckon if it happens, I'm going to take our boat down there. I reckon it'd be awesome.
I can remember the old man took his 6-litre to a drag boat thing here at Windsor. And all the 6-litre drag boats were slow as shit.
Oh, really?
They're all nowhere. The 2 circuit boats made the final. It was Dad and Clayton Hart.
Holy shit.
Yeah, right.
That was a while ago now.
Well, yeah, I'm keen as shit to see it, and I would love to support it. Thank you very much to Phil Day for putting that out, because that's really gotten a bit of interest in my head.
Yeah.
I don't know how long till it's going to actually happen, but that was pretty exciting.
It is a pretty good spot at Penrith to run something like that. They can tow them out under the little bridge there and set them up on a line and just bam straight down the other end, and then pull them in at the other end.
On the exit lake.
Yeah.
On the exit ramp. I've always loved the thought of driving at Penrith Lakes. I reckon that's probably the premium venue.
Yeah.
And yeah, whether it's a drag race or it's a circuit race, I'll take it whatever.
Sweet. Well, we'll keep you more informed about that as it goes on.
So yeah, have a look on the HSG pit crew. I'll put the video up and get behind it. So this week we've had MotoGP.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch the GP. I thought I might watch it on the way home in the truck, but I was just way too tired and just thought, fuck that.
Yeah, it was a decent weekend.
I didn't. I haven't actually watched any of it. I've seen just a fair bit on socials because I sort of figured I probably wasn't going to watch anything. So I've just checked all that on socials, but I haven't actually got any results for the actual GP. So
I did see Alex Marquez have a stack.
Yeah, stack. He was battling with Pedro Acosta, and yeah, I think they touched, but it was very light, and yeah, he binned it.
He got accosted.
I think I think there was a few crashes actually. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah. Mark Marquez is getting a bit upset with the fans, I think, because they're hating on him.
Well, that's just
everyone hates on a winner.
Yeah, that's just what happens when someone dominates, I think.
Yeah.
Everyone says that Aussies do it really badly, and yeah, I can guarantee you Aussies do, but I think it's a worldwide thing. Like, when you're seeing someone coming up through the field, that's exciting.
Yeah, when someone wins all the time, you get over seeing them win.
Yeah, that's right. And that's what I was talking about last week with Brock Feeney. Like, yeah, we know that he's really good, and we probably don't have the shits with Brock. We really have the shits that it's a domination and that, like, the person,
someone else win.
The person that's winning all the time, it's just not that exciting.
Yeah.
Supercars in itself's not that exciting at the moment. So
there's a couple of Mark's teammates like years ago when he was on the Honda that said if he ever jumps onto a Ducati, there'll be no competition.
Yeah, right. So you got to put him in a shit bike to
have it as a competition.
Keep him just in front.
And this year he's jumped onto he got on his first Ducati last year, but it was like a year-old bike, and then he jumped straight from that to the factory team this year. So he skipped a a year model of bike. He never got to ride the 24 bike. So he jumped straight from the 23 bike to the 25 bike and, yeah, just killing it.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I'm obviously not entrenched in the MotoGP field, so me just seeing Marc Marquez on top, it's just, as far as I can see, it's just a really good bloke winning all the time.
Yeah.
It was good
he's
seeing
won,
Alex.
He's won a fair few championships. I think this weekend he overtook Agostini on most wins in the GP class. So the only person that's in front of him now is Valentino Rossi.
Isn't that pretty cool how Valentino Rossi has retired from MotoGP and he's still out there racing at this age? He's still having a ball.
Yeah,
he's doing GT3.
Yeah, he owns a team in the GP paddock. He owns the VR46 team, and they're sort of up the pointy end. Actually, pretty sure one of them bikes is a 25 model bike, which I thought only the Ducati factory team had the 25 bikes. Everyone else had the year previous bike, but yeah, one of those guys has got
So obviously got a good
25 bike. Yeah, but Valentino Rossi he was a good competitor for a long time too. Went through a long period like against lots of other good riders.
That's why he's got such a big name still.
Yeah,
to this day.
yeah. Yeah, like he's had good races against Marc Marquez and that as well, and some of the other guys that he's raced against his whole way through, and beaten them. Beaten lots of world champions on his way past. The one that we didn't get to see that everyone wanted to see was Mick Doohan and Valentino Rossi, but Doohan retired early, and then Rossi moved into there.
Yeah,
we didn't get to see that one, but
yeah, it was two different generations.
Well, they would have, but because Mick retired with his accidents and stuff, he sort of finished a little bit early, and yeah.
This episode is brought to you by Riverstone Radiators and Fabrication in Walker Street, South Windsor, specialising in automotive plant and transport cooling solutions. They can repair copper, brass and alloy radiators and intercoolers. Contact the office on 02 9627 4657. Local pickup and delivery service available to trade customers.
He's not that far. If he's in front, Marquez is in front of, what is he?
Agostini. Yeah.
That's 68 wins.
Yeah.
And Rossi's got 89.
Yeah.
So he's there. Potentially to go past him.
Yeah. I think
depends how long he runs for now. But
so I might have said it last week. I can't remember if I did or not. But last week, Mark hit 100 career poles and 93 career wins.
Shit.
Which 93's his race number, so that's why they made sort of a big deal out of that.
Yeah.
But that's over all three classes as well, not just the top class, where that record there is just the top class. Yeah.
But yeah, so is he old now?
Don't know. He doesn't look that old. Yeah, I don't know how old he is, but he doesn't look that old. He has been around a long time though. I forget how many championships he's got. I think he's got seven or 8 world championships. He will add another one this year.
Oh, no, he's not old at all. Fuck.
What's he, 29 or something?
28? Yeah, 93. 93, baby.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's got a long way to go.
Yeah.
So
as long as he doesn't crash and hurt himself.
Yeah.
There was a while there where he was crashing and he was hurting himself all the time, and he wasn't doing a lot of riding. He had a big crash and can't remember what the injury was, but he spent a fair bit of time on the sideline.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, we'll jump on to Laidley because that's what I want to talk about.
We had a sick time up there.
Thursday afternoon, I got stitched up by having to keep working on the job.
You didn't get stitched up. I got stitched up
You
because
got
I was ready
stitched
to go
up.
and I had to fucking wait for you.
I'm on the M7 calling the two of them saying I'm going to be late. I could smell it. It was 12 o'clock and I was going out to a dozer with a hydraulic leak underneath the driver's seat, what you would call the hellhole.
Yeah.
because it's hell. And it was just one of the track motor hoses, but it was a special fitting, and it was just an arsehole to get. Anyway, so I farted around with that. Didn't end up getting back to the workshop till 5:30.
Oh,
Yeah, so I wanted to be on the road
Fuck.
about 3:30, and no, that was no good. So we ended up driving up.
Wasn't
Andrew's
too bad
place.
anyway, really.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Andrew's place was a good stop off.
Yeah.
Got to see his new race boat. I reckon that's going to be pretty cool.
yeah, he's coming a long way with that.
And then jumped in a brand new F-150. That was
Yeah, it's pretty comfy truck.
lovely.
Mm.
I was in the front seat, like the passenger seat, and my feet could barely touch the fucking dash. The seat was back
Yeah.
that far, and Hayden still had a fuckload of room behind.
Yeah,
me.
it's fucking roomy in there. And comfortable seats.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it was badly packed on the way down because it seemed like a bit of everything got sort of
Yeah.
thrown in on Sunday morning. I wasn't there, but the back seat was quite clogged.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, no. The reason why it wasn't because the back seat was clogged with stuff.
Well,
because the back was packed badly.
It sort of was because everything was a bit wet and shit, so we put our clothes and shit in the cab. But
The story got better.
when we get to the track, and they're having this raffle at the gate. You gotta buy tickets
gate
as you-
pricing, yeah.
You buy tickets as you walk in. Anyway, it's a wheelbarrow full of a big wheelbarrow
I wanted it.
full of shit as well. Like there's a couple of bottles of alcohol in there, like car care kits, polishes, fucking tool. There was like a toolkit.
There was a box of Worth drills and
Yeah, there was heaps of
shit.
good shit in there.
there was a good wheelbarrow.
Yeah, and anyway, halfway through the day, they pull a ticket out as fucking red D19 or whatever the fuck
Fucking
it was.
arsey Walmsley, wasn't it?
And
Yeah.
it was fucking Andrew.
He wins everything. That cunt.
Sitting in the VIP area, and they said, "Oh, Joe Junior's won the thing," and I was just like, "Fuck this guy."
Fuck, he's arsey with fucking raffles.
So then he's gone and picked her up, and he's had to put that in the back of the ute somewhere. Bit of that shit went in the cab too. So Hayden had a bit of a clog trip on the way home.
On the way home, there's a bloody wheelbarrow sitting up right like cab height.
He has won that many 100 Club raffles. It's not funny.
Good on him.
He did say that. He did say, "I'm pretty arsey with all this shit, all the 100 clubs." and
Yeah.
everything."
I don't reckon there'd be 100 Club that hasn't gone around that he hasn't won.
Yeah.
He every time gets at least one of the prizes. I think a couple of times he's even got two of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I've changed my mind. Screw you, Andrew.
Yeah.
That stuff would have been good at home.
Hayden didn't stay in his bed on Saturday night. He picked up, I think.
Yeah, you're right. Ended up going to a bloody family birthday party at, where was that, back at around Pimpama area? So it's about an hour and a half drive from the track.
Yeah, right.
And it was good. I didn't have much sleep before then, and then ended up going about 11:30 talking shit. And then so got up in the morning, hour and a half drive back to the race course. That wasn't the best.
Yeah. We didn't have much sleep on the way up. Obviously, we're driving up. And then we got there at probably, I don't know, about 3:30 in the morning, 4 o'clock. Andrew just found a little grassy paddock on the side of the road, and we pulled up there and said, "Oh, we'll just have a sleep here for an hour or two." Yeah, no worries. Sounds good. Fucking Hayden wants to get out and set the swag and shit up. So, fuck, that ain't setting the swag up for fucking 2 hours.
No fucking way in the world.
So we slept.
I was the only one that was sleeping in the back seat.
Yeah.
I had a shit spot to sleep.
Like, it's big enough. I would have slept in there easy.
So I tried to set myself sideways, but there was shit sticking my neck up, and I was like, "Oh fuck this! I'm getting swag." But yeah,
He's complaining, but he hasn't driven one minute. The whole trip.
Yeah, but I think that's worse because you're
Like that,
trying
I'd
to
just sleep the whole
sort of
trip.
sit comfortable.
I don't mind driving. I drove all the way to Males and all the way home.
Yeah.
But it
You've
is
got leg room.
It is very funny though. Where we ended up staying in the showgrounds, it was like a minute drive from where we were. If we knew where we were going, we could have just gone and put the swags up there and gone to sleep and woken up late, and it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah, right. So you didn't stay at the track.
No, you're not allowed to.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
Yep.
It was all a bit of a shit fight, that.
They've changed that then.
yeah. Yeah,
There's a caravan park there that you can book, but apparently it was booked out, and then it wasn't booked out.
Yeah, that's over on the back.
Everyone got
of it.
extra sites and shit, and then
Yeah.
dogs were allowed, and they weren't allowed. So now it's like all but empty, and yeah, it was a bit of a shit fight. But the showgrounds is like
It's not far.
1 minute from there anyway.
Yeah.
And you're driving back into town anyway to go to the pub each night. So yeah.
What a venue though! Like I hadn't been there for a few years. Last time I was there when the blown lights went up there, so that had to have been 12 years ago. And to turn up to that venue, they've only got one boat ramp.
Yeah.
And I thought that'd be a real downfall for the event. And
yeah, I did too.
Stuart Arthey and his brother Dave Arthey were on the tractors all weekend. I don't reckon they watched that much racing, but man, those boats got in and out of that course.
Yeah.
In and out of that ramp.
On the
weekend.
Sunday,
Awesome.
even Craig Lewis got his car out. He was using his car to put boats in and out of the water as well.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm pretty sure most people that he pulled out nearly got thrown out of the boat when he was coming up the ramp because there's a speed bump.
Yeah.
He was up it as he was
that's
coming
right.
out of the ramp.
Yeah, right.
So every time there's someone getting thrown out of their seat.
Yeah. But that's what makes that work well. Like most other places we go to, you very rarely find one that has tractors.
Yes.
Everyone's got to put their own boat in with their own car, but tractors just make a ramp system flow so much better because it doesn't get clogged with people that don't need to be there.
Yep.
The tractors go and get the boats that are in this race, and then they go down, they put them in, and then they go out, and then they get the next race. There's no crossing over for the two, which usually happens when everyone can drive themselves around. Someone's getting there late for their race before, someone's getting there early for the next race, and they muck up the system.
That's
so
right.
I think that's why it worked so well as having a beach there that you can put boats in and just pull them along to the side.
Mm-hmm.
It's not real deep. It's nice soft sand. Yeah, it's a great spot. Even the racing was good.
The racing was absolutely awesome.
Nice short, tight track. Bit of an equaliser. Kept everyone in the game.
Yeah,
Pretty much anyone could have won from any race.
I think the first race we were watching, the Heat 1A. I'm pretty sure that's the one. No, Mikey was in 2A, wasn't he? No, it was race 1B on the Friday.
He was in pole 2.
Mikey was in pole 2.
Yeah, that was Heat 1.
Man, Mikey drove his ass off and come around the outside and led the field to the checkered flag.
Yeah.
And I reckon that was probably one of my favourite races. He was racing with Convict and Immortal.
Yeah.
Immortal was on pole. Mikey was in pole 2. I think Convict was in pole 3.
Yeah.
Man, it had to be the race of the weekend because everyone sort of thought, Immortal would have the longer legs.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Mikey went around the outside of him and, yeah.
Mikey drove really well too all weekend.
Spectacular. I think
For not
did a
being
boat
in
stop
the boat
in
for
that?
a long time. No, I don't
Because
think
there should
so.
be 4 boats in that race.
Yeah, there probably would have been.
Well, someone must have stopped in it.
Yeah, someone would have stopped. I don't have that.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just that there's 4 in the rest of them.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be. There should be 4 at least in the first race.
Yeah, no, I can't see that. I tried my best to try and find as much of the results as I could, but yeah, I didn't see that one. But I reckon Mikey's had struggles coming up to this event. Like he's had some mechanical issues and he
Not a lot of time.
been driving up the front. But I think everyone probably did notice a pretty glaring thing that changed on that boat over the weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, they would have known.
Yeah, everyone looked at the back of that boat and there was a massive high-speed garage sticker on his fuel tank. And lo and behold, that was the weekend, he started winning races. So I think everyone would have to notice that realistically.
He wasn't happy that there was a bit of red going on a blue boat, but I bet he is now.
I'm guaranteeing he's pretty happy with that sticker. Yeah, so Mikey, you can send some more questions in now because thanks to us.
I thought too, Mikey's that good of a bloke. He didn't steal me jumper.
Yeah, no, that was
I
a
thought
good
for
one.
sure someone was losing
Yep.
the jumper.
I'd been throwing me.
Nearly happened.
I've been throwing me jumper in Mikey's truck all weekend because I was giving him a hand, and he left a bit early on the Sunday, and I was down in the VIP area, and I went, "Oh fuck, Mikey's gone. My clothes are in the thing." So I rang him. I said, "You gone already?" He goes, "Yeah. I tried to come find you. I didn't know where you were." And I said, "Oh no,
I
that's
knew
all
exactly
good."
where you would have been.
And I said, "Did you steal my jumper?" He goes, No, I pulled it out. I left it there. It's up there on the fuel drum and stuff." And I was like, "You're a legend."
Fuck, living on the fuel drum. even.
I'm not sure if
As
he
soon
knew
as
what
he
jumper
said that,
it
I
was.
ran up there and got it.
I was going to say, I'm not sure he knew what jumper it was.
Yeah,
Did he know it was one of those?
maybe not.
Now Mikey's listening to this going,
He's
shit,
thinking,
could
"Damn
have stolen
I
it.
Missed the jumper.
I'm surprised we've still got him, to be honest.
Yeah. I don't take mine too many places if I think I'm taking it off.
I lent Andrew Walmsley one of my shirts for the weekend, and seeing Michael and Andrew next to each other in the VIP area looked very professional. They were clean shirts because it was the start of the day, but the shirts looked bloody smick.
Did you
in
get
the
it back?
VIP area. Fuck no.
Yeah. So it's not, you didn't lend it. You've
The
just lost the
intention
shirt.
was for me to lend him a shirt.
You'll never get it
I
back.
haven't seen it back.
He rang me. Goes, you seen the message? Fuck no, I'm shooting. He goes, check your messages. I'll check your messages. I said, oh, of course you're in the VIP drinking beer. Didn't even recognise the shirt.
Yeah.
But look, realistically, I didn't drive at all weekend. Andrew drove shitloads. So
I
thanks, Andrew,
drove
for
from here to
driving me.
Andrews and from Andrews to here. Andrew drove from Andrews to Laidley and from Laidley to Andrews.
Yeah, right.
Andrew's good at the driving. Though.
Yeah, he likes driving.
No, he did well. So in the hot laps, Immortal got on pole. So that was his first NDC pole, which is pretty cool. Connor comes second.
There's only 2 tenths in it too, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
there was bugger all, dude. I was watching the whole
1/10 or
thing.
something like
Addicted was on top, and then Decision just got him. Connor got a little bit of a lead on Decision, and then Immortal was just
I think
in
it
front of
was,
him.
it's either 1 or 2 tenths between first, second and third when I was looking at it when I was out there.
That
Like 33 flat and then the 33.2 and then 33.3 or 33.4 or something like that.
So the weekend, like as the heats and stuff go on, the finals determine on points that you get from your hot laps and your heats.
Yeah.
And the final positions were pretty much determined by the hot laps.
Oh, yeah,
Because
right.
everyone had similar points.
Same points, yeah.
So
yeah.
Connor actually had less race points than Mikey and Tate. But because he was second in hot laps, they put him to pole 1.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay. I just assumed they all had the same wins.
Nah, so Connor finished second in his first race.
Yeah.
Because he had lay it on, didn't he, Hayden?
Okay, what was that question? I've just brought up the times for the hot laps. What did you want to know?
Yeah, so I think lay it on.
Later on, come fifth.
Connor were in the second heat together.
Yeah, yeah.
And Connor got beat, so he got second place points.
So which one are you
For
which
that.
race are you talking about?
A.
A main final?
No, race
No.
1.
Race 1. Oh, I've been looking at the bloody points, mate.
Yeah. So Connor ended up with pole from the hot lap. So lay it on.
Later on
won
started
2
in-
races.
Yeah, yeah.
Mikey won 2 races, and who else?
Yeah, well, that two's
Who else
missing
won
out of
two?
heat 1. It's Connor, you've got written up there.
No, Connor wasn't in that heat.
In any of
Oh,
the heats.
hang on. No,
So
no,
he
no.
stopped at some point.
Turn it up, stop. Turn it up.
Yeah.
Turn it up, spun. But, there we go.
And Decision must
Turn
have
it
had
up,
2
spun,
wins.
But kept second. Okay, so in 1B, lay it on, won it. But turn it up, spun, coming into third corner, second lap. Mayhem third and Unfinished got a DNF. So if we go back to those times, where did I put them? If you have a look at times, Mark Gauci won pole at 33 seconds. Connor Patterson in Turn It Up, 33.2 seconds. Mate, that's a a hesitation on a bloody button. Realistically, 0.2 of a second is stuff all. That's bloody close. Brett Lewis 33.3, which is closer again. Mikey Johnson's 33.7. Tate Ramsey 34.1. Not talking much time here. Blake Ramsey 34.2. So how's that? Two brothers within 0.1 of a second. Tate did have a couple of jumps in his lap.
Yeah.
But it's all on what you can put down. Laith Brown got a 34.6. He was really fast over the weekend though. He always is up there. Chris Pugsley in unfinished business got 36.8.
That's pretty good for stuff all time in that boat, eh?
With Chris?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was driving pretty consistently, just clearly struggling with it, but that boat got faster and faster over the weekend. Dean Barry and Cheesy Culprit got 37. I think he had a problem in his. Brett Nidgery with the B&R engines, that was 37.4. I don't think his was right on it either.
He had
a problem.
He had a big jump coming out of the first turn, or a couple of big jumps.
Royce McIntyre, he was in Mayhem, and he was 40.5 seconds. When Scott Cleaver with the Supernova boat, he was at 40.8 seconds. But I think he had a problem in his run as well. He wasn't. He was. I think he was struggling. I spoke to him over the weekend. I was doing some interviews for the TV show, and he was talking about just struggling to get his head around the triangle track, because he is such a fresh driver, and then he's used to doing the laps at, say, Windsor or Yarrawonga, where the course is you turn back around on yourself. And he was just saying it's just another track that he's trying to get his head around.
I think half of them will be in the same boat, basically.
Half the drivers, yeah.
It's all right by yourself, but once you got to race someone, you got to remember to stop turning.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the sunlight was the other issue.
Yeah, second corner's always been hard to see there.
Yeah. So coming out of pole one, coming out of corner one, shooting into corner two, that sunlight was really bad.
Yeah.
Sunday was really good because it was overcast.
Yeah.
You could actually see the track. If we go back to race 1C, we saw Brett Lewis with the decision. He got the race win.
It was good to see that boat going fast again like it used to go.
He's gotten, you could see the confidence in his face when he was coming back.
Yeah.
He was enjoying the weekend.
Yeah.
Destiny in second, Culprit in third, and Supernova in fourth. I don't think there was much of note in that race. On the Saturday morning, we had Lay It in race 2A. Lay It On came first, Convict in second, and Immortal in third. Immortal he come out of pole 2. He struggled a fair bit. I think they've got a fair bit of horsepower in that, or they were fiddling around with the bottom of the boat, something like that. He kept on saying that he was really struggling with it in the race. As the race went on, he was really struggling to get the thing out of corner.
Yeah, okay. I didn't get a chance to go and speak to all the B&R team. I didn't see any of them at all.
Yeah, my problem is I was speaking to so many people. My brain was just trying to remember the next thing.
Yep.
So I've got all this information that's on camera, but just trying to remember it all. It's a fair bit going on over the weekend, and I don't really put things down on paper. I've got to get better on that.
Yeah, so we had Lay It On with two wins, Addicted with 2 wins, Turn It Up with a win and a second, and Decision with a win and a second.
Yeah, so you must get decent points then for the qualifying.
It's the same. It's the same as a race.
Oh, is it?
Same as a
Yeah,
race.
right.
Yeah,
Okay.
So Turn It Up essentially had another second.
Yeah.
So he's had 2 seconds and a first, which
kept him
beats 2 firsts and a fourth, which is what Mikey got,
Yeah.
and 2 firsts and a fifth, which is what Tate got.
Yeah.
So yeah, the hot laps are probably more critical than most people think.
Yeah. I didn't know they were the same points.
Yeah, because we were wondering how the hell Connor ended up on pole 1. I'm like, that's weird. He can't have, because he
I
he wouldn't
assumed.
even have the same points. Like, wouldn't even come back to account back on lap times because.
Yeah.
But then, when I found out that it was the points from the hot laps was added as well, I was like, oh yeah, right, that makes sense.
Yeah, I thought the points were there for the hot laps, but I didn't think they were that much.
Yeah, they're a big benefit.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same as a race.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really want that thing on pole.
Because I assumed Mikey would be there because he out-qualified late on.
Yeah. All the finals were awesome. Like each final, the boats in each final, you never really sort of could pick who was going to win. It could have been any of them.
Yeah, okay.
Win that main.
Yep.
So yeah, that was pretty cool.
I heard that they all liked lane 2.
Yeah, I think someone said that to me on Saturday morning that everyone on Friday won from lane 2.
Yep.
But I don't think they realised, but everyone that was in lane 1 made mistakes.
That's right.
Oh,
That's why lane 2 won.
Yep.
But even still, you'd see the driver in pole 1. He was still fast, but pole 2 was able to chase down really well.
You didn't have to look.
Yeah, well, the race between Mikey and Brent Lewis in the B main, that was the heat. Was it 2?
Yeah, the last.
It was 2C. Between Addicted and Decision, that was an awesome race.
Yeah.
I said that before. I just loved it. I loved that. And seeing Mikey race to the front instead of just someone stuffing up. Brent didn't stuff up in that race.
Yeah.
Mikey drove from the outside.
What happened to him in the A main final?
We had an issue. I was spewing because I thought we would have done pretty well in that. Even though he started in lane 2, he was between lay it on and turn it up. I thought, no, we'll be right here. He gives himself a bit of room, has a good start. I thought he'd be in, but the engine went off after the first corner. It went a cylinder down because it had a water pickup come loose and fill the boat up with water. So it wasn't bad enough to cook the engine because the pickup would have been still on.
Just sending water everywhere.
But water all through the boat, and it's wet some of the coils and whatever, so it sort of stopped a bit of stuff. And by the time he'd finished the race, the water pickup had actually come off. So when he got back to us at the bank, she was pretty full of water.
Yeah.
So
yeah, right. Well, that's not too bad.
Didn't hurt anything or anything like that. So, but he was never planned on doing the Queensland Cup anyway. So he was packing up after that race, regardless.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it was pretty shit seeing when I come back up to Mikey's boat after that race in the final, and the water line is actually off the pickup.
yeah,
That was shit.
he wasn't confident that he was going to win. I was. I was probably a bit optimistic as well because there's 3 other really good boats in that race. Any one of them could have won.
Yeah. But the way he was driving, it was pretty good. And Tate had a fair few hops and bunny hops, didn't he?
Yeah.
A lot of the,
That before that final, Mikey wanted to up the engine a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And we all sort of talked him out of it.
Yeah. Make
So
sure
just-
the bastard
just-
keeps on coming
Yeah,
back.
just leave it as it is. We don't need to change anything. You'll get a little bit more out of it, but who cares? I said to him, you might be able to pick up a little bit more on your driving. I said, you are driving pretty conservatively, which he was. He knew he was. I said, if you try to let it, fly a little bit more down straights and drive it a little bit more like your 6 litre down the straight, I said you might gain a bit. You'd be surprised at how much you'd gain, but anyway, we didn't get to that anyway because the engine went off.
Yeah. But realistically, coming out of that weekend, he got a whole heap of confidence.
Oh yeah, 100% he would have.
Yeah, that's pretty good, eh?
Yeah.
Fucking
Decision
get
was
that
the
engine
other
built.
standout, because it's been a while since Brent's been, on top like that.
Yeah.
And that thing was fast and consistent all weekend too.
Where was he last time? And it was just fucking nowhere. Just had an engine
Was
issues
it
the whole
Melton, I
time.
think?
Don't know.
Melton wasn't on.
Yeah, it might have been Melton last
Oh,
year.
it might have been a year before.
Yeah.
I reckon that was the last time he's hit the water.
Yeah. But yeah, it was on song all weekend.
Yeah.
And then the B main. What do you think of that?
Yeah, like I said, and every single one of those mains, you didn't know who was going to win.
Yeah, they are pretty fair match there, aren't they?
Yeah, and then that's one good thing
I
about
suppose
that
that's
series.
I was gonna say that's how it
works
comes out anyway. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, you might have like in the last final, you might have 4. I shouldn't say shit boats, but like the 4 slowest boats.
Yeah.
But they are the 4 slowest boats, which makes them all competitive with each
so
other.
It's still a good race. There's not one screaming ahead. And
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, so that ended up being the final. Obviously, Tate.
That was pretty early in the day
Tate won
too,
the
wasn't
final.
it?
Yeah. So they do that so everyone could go in the other races like the Queensland Cup and that.
I think even the Queensland Cup was early in the day, was it?
No, it was the last race of the day.
What, late in the Arvo or?
Yeah, it would have been about 3:30-ish.
Yeah, right. It must have been the NDC final watch. I remember watching one as we stopped or going through a gate, and I must have been waiting for someone and looked at my phone and went, "Oh, that's coming on." So we stopped and watched it.
Yeah, it would have been about 3:30 in the Arvo, I suppose.
Yeah.
But the heats for that were pretty good too, because obviously all the boats can go in the Queensland Cup, not just the
6 litres and everything. Yeah,
not just the forced induction boats. The heat 1, it was our mate Omen Daniel in Rastus. He ended up winning that, but he had, I think there was like 5 boats in the heat, and they were all blowers except for him. He was the only 6 litre in it.
Oh yeah, right.
And he was sort of last going into turn 1, and slowly picked one off at a time, lap after lap, corner after corner, picking boats off, and then finally got past Immortal on the last corner, going down the last straight right before the finish. The VIP area erupted when he went across the line in front, and then when he came back, everyone was like full cheering him and shit.
Yeah,
should have seen the grin on him. He
would
loving
have been fucking cheering when he got out.
Yeah. He drove really well too. Every race the boat was in, even all the 6 litres, it looked really impressive.
Yep.
The only mistake that the major mistake that he made was he was coming out of the first turn, and he was one of the other people that got stung by the sun. He was racing against Corey Marlin, and it knocked him around to try and find where the second corner was, and that's what gave Corey that step ahead. And then, it was hard to chase from there.
Give Corey a little gap, and Corey took it and said, "See you later."
Yeah.
It was pretty good racing between them two all weekend.
Yeah.
It was pretty much whoever was on the inside was winning.
Yeah, righto.
I think Omen ended up winning the 6 litres for the weekend because the sick puppy boat had an issue. I think Sunday morning. I think they had an oil cooler bracket or something that was broken, so they were up like early morning.
Yeah,
trying to repair that, and they got to the track a little late because they'd been repairing it at the workshop or whatever. So, sucks for them. That would have costed me. I think if it wasn't for that, they probably would have beat Rastus because I think he won more than Omen did.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So he missed one race.
Yeah, he missed one race. Yeah.
Yeah, spill him.
Yeah, he sort of got there with about 15 minutes before they were going in the water, so they had to, unpack the whole boat.
Out of the truck.
And warm it up, and not out. They just towed it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're warming it up as the boats
unpack it, take the covers and stuff off and whatever, and warm it up, and
or it would
get
be
everyone
hot,
get ready and all that sort of stuff. So they sort of missed it, which was a shame. But
no, that's racing for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, fucking cool.
Yeah, and the Queensland Cup final, obviously, Lay It On won that. Decision ran with him for the first few laps.
Yeah, from what I've seen from Hayden's sensational video.
That was a horrible video. So apologies again for that video.
He wasn't far behind.
I zoomed in the live stream on Facebook. It's bloody hard to try and zoom in and out. I was able to zoom in, and as soon as I'd gotten in, I was too far. The whole race, I was trying to zoom out. Couldn't work out how to zoom it out. It just like I was doing the same process as last time. Wouldn't work.
Yep.
So that was a really hard video to bloody well record. But yeah, to see Lay It On top, I reckon that's pretty bloody good. Decision in second and rest.
He wasn't
third.
far off from what I
great.
could see. He was nipping his heels, that's for sure.
Oh yeah.
It's good to see that. Like I said, I've said it a couple of times now. Good to see Decision going that fast and being consistent.
And look, a close race is always the best.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I put down here in my rundown, the special weekend mention has to be Omen, I think he bloody well stood out.
Yeah, considering it's not his boat, he's
Yeah.
only driven it sort of, three or four times now, 3 or 4 race meetings.
Yeah, his first one was Tari.
No, I reckon it would have been before that. Would have been a club day at Windsor or something like that.
It was club day at the Terrace, I think. But yeah, major. I mean,
Yeah, okay.
yeah, he did 2 before that, before the Tari major. But yeah,
Yeah, it drove really well.
And I was, during the weekend, I was sending a couple of cheeky videos to Rastus, to Rero over in, where's he at?
he's in Europe somewhere.
Somewhere in Europe. It was pretty stoked to see some good videos come through.
The boys have stolen his boat and taken it around the country racing it.
I'm not sure if Omen's going to want to give it back, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I said to him when he come in after one of those races, I said, "You'll be owning one of these soon." He goes, "I kind of do own this one, I just not any monetary value."
Yeah. He
I think
definitely does a lot of work on it.
Yeah, I think Omen does a lot of work on it.
He does all the engines.
Yeah.
As well. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, whatever happens, it's a good team. That team's always. I don't think anyone's ever got a problem with seeing that Rastus team get up.
It's definitely a fun team to hang around.
Always a big smile on everyone's face.
We camped next to him for the weekend in the showground.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure if it was. I'm not sure which one of us, but one of us, me, you, Michael, and Andrew, kept someone awake with snoring, and I'm pretty happy with that.
It wasn't me. I don't snore.
Yep.
Well, that's a lie.
Marco reported to me that the diesel heater wasn't loud enough to drown out the snoring.
Well, I'll tell you what. It mustn't have been me snoring because I could hear the diesel heater going tick, tick,
Really?
tick, tick. Yep. I was up early every morning though because I was stuck in a tiny little single swag.
No, you can't roll in them.
Yeah. You can. I could roll
You gotta
okay.
shuffle.
I could roll okay, but I couldn't. Like I pissed way too much during the night to sleep in the swag.
Yeah.
Unzipping the swag, trying to put some clothes on to fucking walk out and put some shoes on so you're not fucking walking grass back into your bed and shit.
Yeah.
That's fucking painful in a single swag.
Guess that's what happens when you're not organised, isn't it?
Yeah, well that's Hayden's problem. I left it to Hayden.
Yeah, well he scored my double swag for the Saturday, didn't you?
Nah, Jordan stayed in that.
Ah.
Why didn't you borrow your old man's one?
Why would you not?
Oh, because Andrew said he had one. I didn't even ask questions.
Oh, right.
I didn't ask questions what it was.
He was hoping you didn't ask the question.
It turns out
it's bright pink.
Yeah, it turns out it's his daughter's swag and she's bright pink. Not that bothers me. I don't care. It was somewhere to sleep.
And I certainly would have, if that was me in your situation, I certainly would have been stealing the big one.
Nah.
That double swag was awesome.
I was already set up in mine with me nice blankets and stuff, so yeah. It was comfy. It wasn't cold at all. I was toasty as.
Going to something else, I wanted to make a mention. It's probably pretty important to you, Mick.
Oh yeah. Yeah, one of my personal sponsors has just celebrated 20 years in business today.
That's a long time, dude.
Pretty good. Yeah. Price Engines. They do nice stuff. Dad kind of works there for him, sort of thing. Doesn't work for them, but he's there probably every day. Kev probably hates him turning up because he probably annoys everybody and slows down production. But yeah, Kev's a great help to me. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing without Kev.
Yeah, I saw that come up and I thought that 20 years, fairly good stint.
Yeah,
and
he's done a lot of work for a lot of people too. He used to do a bit of work for Brian McCosker and that as well.
Yeah, he's put some good bits together.
Yeah,
and that truly wicked boat that had a Price engine in it.
It wasn't a Price engine, but Kev would have did all the machine work and balancing and all that sort of stuff.
Was he maintaining it?
No, it was a Steve Smith engine.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, he lets us use the dyno and all that stuff. He bought the dyno from Brian McCosker, and that's what's in his workshop, and we get to use that when we need it and whatever else. So
big thing I remember bloody McCosker's dyno was that video. Good crack. That video from way back in the day was horrible footage, but it was Brian's engine showing it making 2,000 horsepower.
Yeah.
And that signature laugh from Brian just throws in the background.
That data's still in the.
Oh, really?
In the dyno, yeah.
Oh, such a good video. All right, we might head to questions this week.
Yes, questions.
We got a couple.
We've got one from Zach Atkinson.
Yeah, right. I didn't see Zach up there on the weekend, but I did see his old man.
I saw him in the bar.
Yeah, he's running around
Yeah,
there.
okay.
He was having a good laugh.
He sent in a couple, but he didn't want us to post them because he was too drunk.
Oh.
So he redid them.
We don't mind you being drunk.
That's what I said.
Adds to the value.
Righto, here we go.
Take two on my question from Saturday night I sent through. In Europe and in the States, and I'm pretty sure there was one in Australia for a while, there was a tunnel boat, F1, F2, whatever, that had like a twin cell inside of it. So at race meets, you could pay to go on like a joyride. Do you guys ever think there would be like an inboard version of this in a sailboat? Obviously, you know, in the past, displacement boats have had passenger seats in them. But do you ever think there'll be a twin seat cell blown boat that people could ever go on joyrides at a race meet?
That's a good question.
That's a sick idea.
I've had that idea in my head for a long time. I saw Malcolm Jamison did another, like a new two-cell or two-seat F1 over in New Zealand.
Yeah, we've seen
Yeah,
that
it's
when we
run
were
around.
over there.
And it sparked my brain again on that. I don't have anywhere near the cash to do what I'm doing, let alone to build a two-seat
Another one,
displacement boat.
You'd have to find someone that wanted to sponsor it really well.
Yeah. I do remember Craig Bailey having that one here for a little while.
Yeah.
That
I don't know
was
where'd
pretty
that end
cool.
up.
I'm not sure. You'd have to ask
You'd have to
him.
have Craig,
But I remember it doing some laps at Dargle, taking people out and
Awesome
whatever
idea.
else.
Was that St George for a little while too?
Yeah.
Remember
I
all
reckon
younger kids?
That would be a cool thing to get one on the inboard. I'm not sure how it would really work though.
Well, you think about, say if there's a 21-foot boat, say like Clarkie's boat, the Tough Enough boat. If you were to get that same cell and put it to the right-hand side,
Yeah.
yes, I know the weight would be completely wrong on the boat. But
I wouldn't
if you
be too
could set
worried
it up
about
all right,
the weight. I'd be more
No.
worried about someone being in a separate cockpit to
Yeah,
me.
you'd have to have two cockpits. So it'd make the cockpit smaller. Not two cockpits joined together, so you could sit a little bit closer.
Yeah, you'd have to be in the same cockpit. So
really?
if
Yeah.
something did go pear-shaped,
You could help
you're releasing their lids and all that sort of stuff. They don't have to do anything to get out.
because they haven't done
Yeah,
cell
okay.
tests and all that sort
Yeah.
of stuff. They don't know how to get out.
Okay.
And the hard part would be, you know, if you've got a center steer boat, your cell's generally dropped in between the
In the bearers,
bearers,
yeah.
so you can't fit two people in something that narrow. So then you start getting into the
You're
engine
sitting on
bearers
top
and
of
you're
the
sitting on
bearer.
top of the engine bearers. How wide then do you make that to fit sort of two people in it? Sort of
Realistically, it'd only need to be as wide as one of those F1 two-seater cockpits.
yeah.
So realistically, you take that idea and sticky tape onto a displacement boat.
It's pretty wide though.
A lot of work.
Yeah, that's
Because we've
all
got a
but
lot of,
as wide as a displacement boat.
we have a lot
like
of
the
stuff
cell
in the
itself.
center. We have a lot of stuff in the center that you got to try and dodge.
If you're not building it as a race boat, it's clearly a fun boat, right?
Yeah.
More weight over the front probably isn't going to be that big of a horrible thing.
Oh.
Pull
Yeah,
Pull
it
the-
could be.
It still would be because you're
pull
still
the prop
laying
underneath the boat more.
You still want to show people that it's kind of fast and get them having that
Yeah,
feeling.
I'm just saying put the cell in front of the gearbox instead of beside.
Yeah.
Like you look at an Evercraft, the gearbox is in front of the just behind the cell. So
Yeah, you could have it in a similar spot, but like I
Yeah.
said, as soon as you start making that wider,
You're sitting higher.
you start sitting higher.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
like you're not
You
going to
could work
get
it
it
out,
perfect.
but-
I reckon it could happen, but it just takes funds that
Yeah.
I don't have. So
Well-
I can't say, yeah, I'll just do it.
Yeah.
No, that's what I mean. You have to find someone that's pretty keen for sponsorship, and then
I don't know how like I was never part of the APBA or anything when that that 2-seater tunnel boat was going on. I don't know how it all goes with insurance and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Insurance is a disappointing conversation.
Yeah, it is. That'd be the biggest.
That'd be the biggest killer over here.
Question that you'd have to get past, biggest hurdle you'd have to get past. Because realistically, if someone wanted to do something like that, it's probably not a big deal to put a cell in. If you go down the road of, say, bolting it in, you could still later on pull that cell out and have the boat as a normal race boat.
Mm.
But yeah, it'd be more the insurance, I'd say, would be the issue.
Well, let's go and have a chat to Dave Turner, see if we can do some manual labour and lay one up.
Yeah, well, it'd be a one-off thing.
Graft and shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It could be done. Definitely could be done. There'd be just a few things that you'd have to, try to get your head around.
Yeah.
But
the height of the driver would be the main thing. Sitting up on
it'd look very different, but the twin-seater F1 boat looks out of place because it's wide.
Yeah.
Like that cell's pretty wide. It'd be as wide as the engine bay in a...
Yeah, that's
But
fine.
it's-
A displacement will handle that.
gunnel to gunnel, basically.
Displacement boat will handle that.
But, yeah.
But I wouldn't
It's a cool
imagine it
idea.
being gunnel to gunnel.
the
Yeah,
measurement-wise.
but it would be.
The height of a...
That F1 cell's pretty wide.
No, it wouldn't be as wide as some of our big log boats. But
Inside the...
the
probably not 20
the
miles.
height
Probably
the
thinking
height of
18.
the tunnel boat one would have never changed.
No.
So it still looks like when you look at it side on, it still looks like it's all in proportion. It just had a wider cockpit.
Yeah. Probably had a
where we'd
wider
have-
tunnel on it too.
We'd probably end up having an overly wide cockpit, so you could sit sort of normally, and you'd be sitting on top of engine bearers unless you wanted to trim them down and all that sort of stuff. But then you just start doing that. Then it's a purpose-built boat. Then you got a boat that's worth nothing unless you're taking it on demo runs. So you'd be trying to steer away from doing that. Yeah, because you can't sit sort of half one of your ass cheeks on a bear and the other one on the fucking floor,
No,
if you know what I mean.
Sitting a bit high wouldn't be detrimental to you. Not racing it. Bit of height, look a bit different, but
You just have to do like what Malcolm did with our cell. The deck actually has that big bubble in front of the cell.
Yeah.
If it didn't have that bubble, the cell would look like a big pimple on the deck. Because it's got that bubble on the deck, it brings the whole deck area up to the bottom of the screen. Our cell is actually quite high because it's on the top of the bearer. But you don't really notice it. It looks quite sleek because the deck comes up to it. So that there's a lot of things you can do to make shit look cool without losing that, without getting rid of that height.
yeah, if someone was going to sponsor the money, there's no reason why it couldn't happen apart from
For sure.
sign an indemnity form saying it's okay if I die.
You just have to check out that.
Yeah, that's the only...
You're also not
issue
in a
with it.
race. You're only in a joyride, so it's probably a little bit different. Same as a helicopter.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't be driving the thing at 10/10 sort of
No.
thing.
No, God, no.
You've only got to give someone a buzz. It's no different than, running a supercar around a track or something like that with someone sitting in the passenger seat. The only difference is if you crash, you end up in water and there's potential for you to drown.
Yeah, that's right.
If you got air, you should be fucking sweet, but really...
Well, yeah.
That's another point in buying. You're buying $10,000 worth of air masks
Another
before
set
you
of
even
air.
start.
They've got to be comfortable with that air and shit as well. Yeah.
Masks fitting, it's a bit of an effort.
Yeah.
You'd have to have a helmet like what I've got, so it's you're not on the face.
You could probably
It's
just give
a
them a
completely fluid
regulator, to
unit.
be honest. So here, bite down on that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't-
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that-
guess
don't
because
let
you're
go
not
of it.
racing, are you?
That can still fall out.
Just tell them don't let go of it.
Yeah.
But you don't have to have a mask on your face now, do you?
You never
You
had to have a
can
mask
you
on
can
your
have
face.
a
You just gotta
regulator in
air.
your hand.
Yeah, you just got to have air.
So realistically, the passenger could have
Yeah,
the
if they're not in
regulator
control of
in
the
their
boat,
mouth.
they could have the regulator put in their mouth, bite down on it, and just hold it there while they're running.
But yeah.
Anyway,
It'd
good question, Zach.
It would be good to see if you can find someone that wants to sponsor the money.
Yep.
All over it.
I'm happy to drive it and take people for joyrides.
Oh yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah. Yeah, righto. So we will go into meme of the week.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to start. I got two that I've got to talk about, but I don't have any audio ones. The first one has been posted by Dewey from Boat Racing Memes. If you haven't gotten onto Boat Racing Memes, you've got to. Just like and share the page. Have a look through his memes. He's always onto it. The one that I've got this week, he's got a Tony Walsh haircut. And the description says, so I told that teaching lady, I don't need no school. I'm a be a blown boat driver. And that kid looks like all he wants to do is drive a blown boat, doesn't it?
Or fat ringer.
Yeah. And the other one I was going to talk about was memes this week have been going, visual memes have been going really good this week with Donald Trump's statement. Did you guys see that?
No.
He's talking in front of the bloody helicopter. He's saying these two people don't have a clue what the fuck they're doing.
I've heard about
and that meme has been pushed on so many things. It's just been so good. So shout out to the people. That was like an hour after Trump was sort of announced to say it. It was posted that he'd said it. That has just gone on so many memes that it's friggin' awesome. So that's my memes of the week.
Yeah, right. Well, I got mine here. Short and sweet.
Never listen or try to communicate. It only makes life harder. Live in your own world. Be a man.
Yeah.
Those Be a Man comments are so good.
Fucking brilliant.
All right, here's mine. It's a bit long-winded, but I think you might like it.
Little Johnny blows up a balloon and starts flicking it all around the house with his finger. His mother tells him to stop it as he's liable to break something, but the boy continues. "Johnny!" Mom screams. "Knock it off! You're going to break something!" He stops, and eventually Mom leaves for a short trip to the shopping center. Johnny starts up with the balloon again after his mom has left for the store. He gives it one last flick and it lands in the toilet, where he leaves it. Mom comes in and while putting away the groceries gets the urge, diarrhea. She can hardly make it to the toilet in time and splash, out it comes. When she's finished, she looks down and can't believe what she's seeing. She's not sure what this big brown thing is in the toilet. She calls her doctor. The doctor is baffled as she describes the situation, but he assures her he'll be over shortly to examine everything. When he arrives, she leads him to the bathroom, and he gets down on his knees and takes a long, hard look at the thing. Finally, he takes out his pen and sort of touches it to see what it might be, and pop! The balloon explodes, and poop is everywhere. On him, the walls, all over. "Doctor! Doctor! Are you all right?" she asks. He says, "I've been in this business for over 30 years, and this is the first time I've ever actually seen a fart." Little Johnny blows up a balloon and starts flicking it all.
Fuck, that was a good misdirection. I wasn't even going there. Oh, that is fucking brilliant. Yeah, right. Thanks for sending the question in too, Zach. Yes, if you want to send any more in, send them to the highspeedgaragepodcast@gmail.com. Or send them through to our messenger on the High Speed Garage page, which is where Zach keeps sending them. Find us on the socials, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Make sure you keep sharing our posts so we can keep growing the community and jump into the High Speed Garage Pit Crew page. That's what we're at now, isn't it?
HSG Pit Crew, yeah.
HSG.
Yeah, no, I posted a fair bit up on the over the weekend, sharing a couple of those videos that the Drivers' Championship have put up as well.
Yeah. Oh, in the HSG page?
Yep.
Right.
I was putting them up. And, it was good.
Yeah, sweet as. So, yeah, all in all, we all had a good weekend. And hope you did too.
Yep, still tired.
Good luck with all this wind and rain, guys.
Yeah. All right, I'll catch you later.
Bye.